Hey, it's your girl KV. We are back for another review of Real Housewives of Potomac. Oh, I didn't position this light on. I was doing my hair, so the light was a lot closer than what I recorded with. Okay, season 10, episode 10. We got 10, y'all. Blunt Truths. Real Housewives of Potomac. We start off, we see Giselle goes car shopping for a new G-Wagon. She wants something electric. She said she want to work on her carbon footprint because she said, what's those things called? It took her so long to even get to ice mountains to even try to think of the word glaciers. But she's basically like, the glaciers is melting, the environment is crap. Let me do my part and get an electric car. Let's go G-Wagon shopping. She invites Wendy. So please, I really hope this puts a kibosh on everybody saying, Giselle don't like Wendy. Giselle don't like Wendy. They're not real friends. Giselle don't consider her a friend. Giselle has said many a times she considers that lady a friend. Now, they had a rough road getting here, but current day she considers that lady a friend. Like I said, aka sent them that letter that said, you're not gonna embarrass our sorority on here. Giselle, you have to understand that dark women are allowed in our sorority. I understand it was different. When you were growing up and admiring the sorority, but these days we had to do away with the paper bag test, okay? So you just have to deal with this, and you will be sisterly and you will support her, okay? Or we will have you by that neck and those pearls, okay? We will have you by the both of them. Giselle got that letter. So Giselle is going to do what said sorority said do. And right now, gosh darn it, that is support and be friends with Wendy. So everybody just let it be. Wendy says her lease is up, so she been thinking about getting one too. And so Wendy gonna say, but I'm not gonna pull a Stacy, okay? I'm gonna let you know that I'm getting a G-Wagon too, and I'm not gonna get the same color as yours because they said Stacy got the same car and color as Ashley. Wasn't one of them when they opened up the season? It was a conversation. Let's talk about Stacy and Wendy. It is getting the stylist part. When Wendy also mentioned that, okay, Stacy tried to poach her stylist from her, and then we talking about the gummies. We already know she got the gummies. I'm like, okay, it's getting a little weird. It's getting a little weird. Excuse me. My God, that was terrible. It just threw me all types of off, y'all. I am sorry. That was so not camera and ladylike. And it wasn't even really a burp. You just know, like, when it be air stuck up on your wind tube, and when you go to take another deep breath, it's like really weird. If you know, you know. So what we talking about? Stacy. Wendy's just like, it is what it is. Sometimes people admire you, and instead of just saying that, they copy you. And that's Stacy. So, she seems like a good person to her core. So that's my girl. Giselle said, I'm gonna let you have her. That can be your girl, because I don't want nothing to do with it. I said, okay, I don't see, neither person is wrong, because Stacy would annoy the mess out of my nerves too. Now, I would laugh at her. I wouldn't be like Kiana levels of yelling and stuff, but she would get on my nerves, although I would be able to get a little giggle out of her. I didn't like Stacy her first season because she just seemed odd. She seemed odd, and we could tell she was lying. Like, she wasn't dating no daggone TJ. Now, was she paying him? I don't know about all that, but I definitely don't think she was dating him. And it's like you see her and you see how she carries on, and we know this is a facade. So First season, it annoyed me. This season, now that I've seen the QVC videos and we really seen, okay, you're just playing the game. How can I be mad at that girl? Go get your check. But she's still annoying. She's a kid, but she is still annoying. So yeah, they test driving a car. They test driving a car, y'all. Salesman in the back, and they are just continuing on this conversation in mixed company. I was too weak. They talking about how Monique is back in the group. They're glad she's there. She's a light energy, like she's just, such a good person. Oh, we miss Karen. The gang's all here. I said not all, but yeah, we miss Karen. We definitely miss Karen. Karen, please come and restore some type of order. Karen and Stacey are like, they're not all that different, because we know Karen, she's pretentious enough to be exactly how she is, but we know she puts on as well. So Karen and Stacey, I want to see what they will evolve to be like, because I'm sure Karen gonna be back on this season. He have a sit down Barbara Walters ass talk with her. Where we at with this? I think that was it for that scene. I know that man was so annoyed. How long was they driving in their car? Having to shoot this scene with this man in the back. I hope she did at least that truck to at least make it worth his while. So AJ, Stacey's best friend, is in town because she's having her event soon. They talk about how the girls been ganging up on her. Yeah, so lately, their latest scandal with me is they're trying to say that I'm running and talking to Chris about Monique. She's really over it, y'all. She also talks about how Tia came at her neck, and she mimics Tia's accent, and it's just kind of, talk about how Tia was doing. It cracked me up, y'all. Now AJ said, "What? Huh? You gonna let some little British chick go off on you? Girl, you from Detroit. You need to let these people know what's up, okay?" He really is like, bump that, I know you ain't. Girl, please, we right at done. That's the type of energy he on, right? We see Tia at work. I said, I forgot the girl work. She got a high-end real estate job. We see her call Stacey about the event because she feels like things have been a little funny between them, okay? Truth be told, Tia is the only one that I could really see having a problem with Stacey, because she's directly trying to come at Tia's character. But I also agree, on the flip side, Tia was doing a bit much at the party. Like, it didn't have to get to the point of yelling. I get some people get elevated real quickly, but it's just be like, that takes a lot of energy. You raising your blood pressure. Like, can we not? You making me anxious. You raising my heart rate. Now my Apple Watch talking about, you okay, girl? It's loud and your heart beating fast. Ain't nobody got time for all that. And Tia, this, I was like, come on, Tia, calm down, girl. You start losing the argument when you start doing too much. That's how I feel. So she wants to have a sit down, straighten things out with Stacey, and they plan to do that, okay? But I just really, Tia is clicking down, and it don't seem like she's gonna go back up anytime soon, because she's over there with the girls that are literally trying to frame Stacey for anything they can think of. And it's just starting, it's been looking goofy. It's been looking goofy. We see Ashley take the little Josh guy, little Jack Harlow. Is that Jack Harlow? Little Jack Harlow out on a date, all just to dump him. I said, what a mess. Remember that we met Josh last season when her and Giselle did the speed dating. I don't know if Giselle is still dating her guy. His name was like Namsa or something like that. I know she did go back to dating him after she did Love Hotel. I think both of them, well, clearly because Ashley's breaking up with hers. But yes, they took a break because she was going to do Love Hotel, but they back going, but it wasn't much, okay? They're going to the arcade. They're going to the arcade, and I can't remember what she said, but he's like, takes you back to your college days, huh? Yeah, because we're going to an arcade. What's up? She tells us that she is used to old men taking her out on jets, okay? Renting out restaurants, okay? Toes in the beach, in the sand, international waters, okay? And you know, got me at the arcade. She can do this stuff with her kids. So she does mention all of this to him. She's used to a certain caliber of things. She said they going on a year of dating and they ain't never been on no vacation. He's just like, so our relationship depends on a vacation. And anyway, I invited you to Pittsburgh. I said, sir, she wants international trips with beaches, sands, mountains, things of that nature, not holidays at your hometown with your family. That's cool and all, but that ain't vacation, okay? In the confessional, she says that seeing her mom struggle through life and, you know, have a bum of a man who don't help her make no money, it made her mama struggle. And so it makes her struggle to make sure she can afford to put her mama up when she needs to. Really? No respect. Neither one of them. So she tells him basically, I need money bags, okay? I need money bag man. And this ain't just it. She is traumatized. I mean, can you blame her for being traumatized? Because Sheila literally gave her to the grandparents so she could live under a bridge with this man. And she is still with this man. So I can't blame Ashley for being traumatized. I know a lot of people are like, oh, Ashley's terrible. She's wrong. She is wrong for bringing that. It just didn't have to be this. I wonder if she let him know a heads up, if they had already broken up and this was just a scene. Because a lot of people do that. Like they just reenact stuff for the camera's sake. But maybe that's not how he found out. Maybe he knew what he was walking into already. But Ashley's wrong for how she handled it if he didn't know. And she wrong for kind of leading him on to think it could be something. But I don't necessarily think she wrong for her belief. And I'm not nobody's gold digger. But it's like Sheila left her so she could live under a bridge. I would be traumatized about money too. I would be wanting to make way, way, way more money than me too. Because who finna live under a bridge? And I still gotta make sure my mama don't live under a bridge no more. And I gotta make sure they ain't got my little sister under no bridge. You see, yeah. So Ashley only wrong for how she handled the little boy toy. But if he knew he was just a little boy toy, then it is what it is. Go find you somebody that can replenish your funds, because that $2 million you got from Michael, you spending it on all these looks, baby. You spending it on these labels, okay? So you gonna need something other than this Potomac check, okay? Giselle and Monique go to lunch. Monique says that back in the day, Giselle was just a hater and she wanted to pick on people. I said, that's still character. Gird your loins, okay? And she said she was just thinking on her healing journey. And she was like, well, why was I mad at her? And Giselle is looking like, oh, really? And I can't remember. I know people have been saying that Giselle didn't start the rumor about the last baby probably not being Chris's, but the fact that you carried it and tried to bring it to the show, that's enough reason to be annoyed or mad at somebody. Like, we ain't finna do all of this, girl. She tells Giselle, you know, I just feel like your problem is you like to be in people's relationships too much. They flash back to her saying about the Monique cheating on Chris thing. She, you know, cites that that's why I came for you and your relationship, because you was always coming for mine. And they go to the Jamal and the Holy Horde, the reunion type comment, right? She says that when she saw Grace, she felt so bad about the things that she said about her father that may impact her. I said, oh, okay. How big of you? Very big of you, okay? Giselle says that she feels that there was real live hate coming from Monique towards her, way more than what Giselle was giving her. I said, I can recall, and I'm probably going to go back just to remember. If I can recall, Monique was up Giselle's butt because everybody was like, how Monique get to fighting with Candace when Giselle is the one doing the most? Was this, I mean, essentially this is what, well, not, because she had her own little beefs with Candace, but essentially is this not what Angel's doing currently? And we was annoyed back then, and we're annoyed now. Because I remember going into that season and knowing that fight happened, I just knew I was going to be on Monique's side. I was like, whatever she said Candace did, Candace did it. Whatever she said, she did it. And then I saw it, and I'm like, no, I actually changed my stance because it just didn't have to be all that. It just did not have to be all that. But there were some outside factors, Giselle touching people, pushing people, that kind of set that fight off that people don't like to mention or bring up, but whatever. Giselle says that she couldn't figure out who was in Monique's ear. She felt like there was somebody like putting a battery in her back or just kind of inciting the mess between them. She couldn't figure out if it was her husband or if it was just yada. They get to talking more. I think Giselle ends up apologizing for her part because she was like, well, girl, that don't mean you off the hook. Like Monique was like, just because I'm healing don't mean you off the hook. And Giselle's like, no, I own my part. Do you? But she does apologize and they move on. And we're going to see what comes of that. So we see bless you. So we see Greg in the jury cell looking at rings with Kiana's mom, Michelle, and Angel. Angel is so excited to be there helping. 10 years ago, we were sitting up saying, where do you think we'll be in 10 years? And look at him. I am in here helping pick out her ring. Like, how sweet. The jeweler was like, let's start big, okay? Let's start big and work our way down. I said, oh, she is... Why are you embarrassing this man like this? She pulls out a $2 million ring. Like 20 carats. Like 20 carats. I'm like, yeah, so what about that? You like that? He was like, I think that one might be a little too big for her finger. Yeah, that might be too big for her finger. Kiara mama just kind of looking like, And I'm sitting here like, poor Greg. The way Kiana is thinking that she's proving a point with this, and she is really just making herself look even goofier by making you go along with this, or the way that y'all got this set up. Because first, Jazzy basically forced his hand at paying for the condo. Because when they got arguing at Preakness, she was like, all you got was some little ass condo that he didn't even pay for. And then next episode, we see Kiana saying that, yeah, Greg said he gonna pay for my condo. He gonna pay for my condo. Then we see Stacy. Yeah, I'm sure it's cloudy compared to nothing. Where's your husband? Where's your ring? And now here's Greg shopping for rings. I said, not y'all letting these ladies force his hand at this relationship. And it's like, current day, I don't even think she is engaged, which is so, oh my gosh. Did he at least buy the condo? Jesus. And so they're looking at more rings. The next ring was 6 carats instead of 20. And it's $180,000. I'm still like, yeah, this is still very pricey for this man. Mama gonna say, oh, so is the condo a wedding gift? Like, how is this gonna work in? And he like, yeah. And she like, okay, so we moving in with the ring on the finger? I'm like, what you mean? These folks is living together in their 2 separate places, going back and forth anyway. Ain't no moving in. They already live together, lady. What are you talking about? But it's just crazy. And I'm like, Why are y'all letting them do this? He ain't got this money. This is very much way too pricey for this man. I feel like Greg ain't planning to spend more than $10,000, which is fine. Which is absolutely fine. I'm not a person that needs to spend all this money on the ring. I put my money on the wedding. Weddings is the expensive part. Looking at $200,000 ring, I said, huh? What? I guess when you got the mama and the best friend right now, you can't go in and say, hey, I'm looking for something around $10,000-15,000. So why you bring him? Like I said, this is all for the cameras, y'all. This is all so Kiana doesn't feel so foolish, okay? But I'm like, girl, this is stupid. Like, do you want us to think that he's a drug dealer? Because how would you get all this money? You saying that you already got the house that y'all built together that you're paying the mortgage on. Yes, the house y'all moved into, realized it didn't work. She moved out. Paying the mortgage on a brand new house, custom built house. You finna pay for her condo. You finna buy a ring and pay for a wedding. And you a nonprofit? Stop it. They're going to be investigating you right along with Wendy. Stop this, okay? We see Ashley go out with her little sister. She's taking her shopping. The sister getting ready to go to college. I don't know if she's already been in college and she's now... I think I figured it out. Maybe the sister went to like community college in the area from home, and now she's going to a university a city or so over. So that's what it kind of felt like, because the sister, I think she said she was having an apartment. So generally freshmen ain't getting no apartment. So I feel like, maybe she started somewhere else. Because I feel like we saw that girl graduate a while ago. Didn't she buy that girl a prom dress like years ago? Anywho, they going shopping because she finna get her first apartment. And of course, they're talking about their parents, their mom that they share, and then Sheila's man, which is the sister's daddy. I be forgetting about the sister because as many times as we done been around Sheila's house, we ain't never seen Jessica over there. The only time we saw Jessica was when Ashley was buying her like a prom or a homecoming dress or something like that. She's just saying how she's not gonna visit home. When she leaves for college, she gone because she ain't got time for the toxicity in that house. I said, yeah, so if she lived there, she probably had an escape, was always at her friend house, or always doing something, always had a friend house to go to and just slept at home, kept her stuff at home, because it sounds very toxic. Because we know that Sheila's working forever while the girl daddy just in there drunk, in the house being crazy. Probably trying to put hands on folks because what? And she's just like, I hope your dad gets the help that he needs. She gets to crying. And I'm like, did your sister want to have this conversation on TV? Did she want this? Ashley is exploiting the people in her life because she don't necessarily have anything direct going on. So she like, okay, well, if I bring my sister in, I can extend my mama's storyline a little bit, and I can kind of talk about, that. And if I bring Josh on, I can break up with him, so I can kind of talk about... Girl, what's going on with GNA? When's the next GNA event, okay? Y'all are raising funds. What's some funds that y'all done did? Like, what's going on with Ashley? What is Ashley actively doing to better her life on this Housewives show? You've been here long enough. You should have a money-making business. The fact that GNA couldn't even keep up with selling some clothes. Even She by Sheree eventually got some merchandise popping. Girl, they got 1,000 things printed up, and once they're sold out, they said, we done. It's insane to me. It's insane. So, anywho, we see Wendy. Wendy is at Eddie's pop-up shop. He is premiering a new strain called the Nutty Professor. This is a strong THC flower, and it is inspired by Wendy. She in there shopping around. She sees some stuff that she gonna buy because they in a dispensary. And a lot of people was making a big deal out of how she didn't know her pen. It was like, no, she knew her pen. Her card declined. I said, as much money as they got from that insurance, I know her card ain't declining over no $30 pipe. But I don't be knowing my pen either, y'all. I have 3 different options. I got 3 different cards, 3 different pens. Between my debit, credit card, and like some other card. It is 3 different pens. And sometimes I be forgetting which one go with which. So it's going to take me 2, 3 times to be like, oh, okay, it's that one. Okay, it's that one. No, it's that one. You know what I mean? So people was trying to make it a big deal. So also, they show them parallel, but I'm sure it wasn't quite like that, maybe. So I'm confused, right? Did Stacey say that she couldn't invite Wendy to the event because she also has a cannabis line? So you basically don't want her to see what you're doing before it hard launches or something? I didn't understand it. I was like, is she talking about she didn't invite her to nothing previous, or she didn't invite her to this? If Stacey didn't invite Wendy because she also has a cannabis line and she don't want her to steal her ideas, I'm done with it. Buffy, I said it, done with it. Okay? Done with it. And Stacey's child lunch, I was cracking up. So I'm going to just believe in my head that Wendy didn't make it to her lunch because it was the same day as Eddie's pop-up. Okay? That's what I'm going to say in my head. But a lot of people didn't make it to the launch, y'all. Of course, Giselle ain't going to go. She ain't even going to pretend. Kiana and Angel, of course, they're not going to go neither because, oh, Jesus Christ, why? Kiana need to stay at home. And Angel, you ain't going because Kiana ain't going. You ain't even got no beef with Stacey. So Tia, Jassy, and Ashley are there. Ashley comes in straight out the gate. Oh, hey, Stacey, you look cute. Yeah, I wore a dress last week. And they show Ashley in the dress. Stacey wore it better. The legs, you short. Stacey and them legs wearing that dress better. But current day, they both got long crimped hair. Oh, you got crimped hair too. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, I wasn't copying you. You're copying me. That's what Ashley's saying. And Stacey just like, girl, okay, whatever. How do we plan to move forward? Ashley says, Stacey says that Ashley is always focusing on the negative when it comes to her, and she doesn't really give her a chance. Everything I bring you, I prove that is false, Ashley, and you still want to say that I'm lying. And I just don't understand, okay? Wendy's not mad at me. Wendy forgives me, and she really supports my line, okay? Yeah, everybody that I've offended, they have forgiven. Monique's not mad at me. We're moving on. Why can't you move on too, Ashley? Why are you still going? Ashley's like, that's fine. That's all good and dandy. I just don't want you to be a lying ass. I said, Stacey's like, listen, I apologize. I need you to stop. Well, stop giving me stuff to talk about then, Stacey. And I'm just like, Lord Jesus, how long are they finna do this? They looking over Jassy, Tia, and AJ came over there too. What is the problem? What is going on over there? I said, we know, right? It's a hot mess. So they standing by in case things get too crazy. But at this point, Stacey and Ashley agree to disagree and to move on. So Ashley's like, no more lies. And then they start saying at the same time. Ashley just keeps saying no more lies. Stacey says, no more negativity, no more hazing, no more evil. Ashley in her confessional talking about some, I'm proud of myself for not giving up on people. I said, girl, you are not giving Stacey a real chance, and you are only here because you had to make sure that you were in the episode, okay? You didn't want to miss out, and they play around and not put you anywhere in the episode, and you was going to be at that event, okay? Plus, you like to get your dirt firsthand so you can run back and tell the other girls. So, yeah, I knew Ashley was going regardless, okay? She then says that she has been authentic and held accountable. They have held my feet to the fire. I've been in this group for 10 years. I said, authentic. Now, there were some storylines that because your husband is a creep and he don't care who knows it, that were so public you had to address them, but that wasn't you being authentic. That was y'all getting busted. You didn't volunteer anything about your life on this show. It's just you didn't have a choice but to address it because it was already out there. So Now they all go have a little sit down, and Stacy turns to Tia and tries to reach some type of resolve. This was a huge disappointment. Huge. Stacy's telling her side and said, you know, when Wendy called on the phone, I heard you in the background and you said I was full of it. And Tia's like, yeah, I said you were full of it because you said your husband was flying in and he couldn't be flying in. He was already here. You just said he was leaving the next day. So yeah, you were full of it. And Stacy's trying to finish, but she's kind of talking in circles a bit. And so when Stacy tries to interject to kind of, okay, that's point number one, let me address point number one, for where Stacy's like, I'm still talking, I still got 2 more points. So they doing this back and forth. Yeah, Tia's kind of over talking her because Stacy hasn't finished talking, but also Stacy is monopolizing the conversation to try to paint the optics of what did not happen. Okay, they both got batteries in their back because they both getting a little rowdy. Stacey, she don't be yelling, but she gets rowdy. Okay, I said they both got batteries in their back. AJ pumped Stacey up. You can't be letting little Enid get to you like that. You gotta show her you from Detroit. And then with Tia, you over there with the Mean Girl Club with Giselle running the charge on how y'all just gotta get Stacey out of here. I know that's what y'all talked about when them cameras went down. Ain't nobody telling me no different, okay? So at this point, Tia says, they've been telling me you was a liar. They've been telling me you were a liar, but I like to see for myself. I wanted to meet you for myself. And you were mad that I didn't defend you when they was calling you a liar. Stacey's like, no, I didn't. Shut up. And oh, she pretends to be so prim and proper, and she's not. She's not. I am prim and proper. I've given you my proper attitude. I am proper. Okay, I am royalty. Okay. And then she tells her, you want to fit in so bad. You want to fit in so bad and you don't. You've been here a whole year and you don't. And I was like, now Tia, Stacey's not trying to fit in. Stacey is doing everything in her power to incite rage in the ladies. She is not trying to fit in the least. I don't think anything about Stacey says, I'm trying to be in with the girls. Stacey's just kind of like, I'm here. Who fucking with it? Hey, we finna party. That's Stacey's vibe. She is not a STEM. She is not trying to fit in. Tia, on the other hand, I guess she came in through Giselle, so her loyalties is to Giselle, but it's like, you be doing a lot a little bit. Like, you have a point. I'm actually on Tia's side when it comes to the her and Stacey thing, because Stacey, you lied, got caught in your lie, and then gonna try to gaslight Tia, saying that ain't what you said. And then on top of that, say that Tia is trying to get in between you and Wendy's friendship. Girl, you got me bent. I'm gonna have to tell you about yourself too. I might not have did all that hollering and stuff, but I'm gonna have to tell you about yourself in that regards as well. But they argue and you want to fit in so bad, so bad. Stacey says, you're a try-hard, just like your fashions. Stacey hops up and is like, get your ass out of my face. Get out of my face. Get out. Get your things and get out. Total new. And AJ is in the background and he has the nerve, the unmitigated gall to say, oh, Stacey, why would you do that? Because you told her to show them folks that she from Detroit and don't be letting no in it punk her. Are you serious, AJ? Why would you do that? Baby, I screamed when he AJ, I know you like just yesterday or 2 days ago, you told that girl to show these folks that she from Detroit and stop letting them run over her. Now you want to clutch your pearls and how crazy she getting? AJ ain't worth it now. I'm just playing. I like AJ, but that had me cracking up. So Ashley K, Stacey Monique. Wait, what? Oh no, it's so weird, y'all. So my notes on my iPad, I be putting it in my notes app. So my notes on my iPad, I be typing it on the computer screen too. I delete everything from last week's episode on the computer screen, but on this screen, it always leaves the last line. So a line from last week's notes is at the bottom of these notes. But yeah, that's how that episode ends, with Stacey screaming and hollering, Tia getting her things and leaving, and she, bye-bye, lovely event, but I'm not gonna buy anything. Okay, bye. Okay, girl. And that is that. This episode wasn't a bad one. It was actually entertaining. As the people on the Twitter said, too much Ashley. We don't need this much Ashley. We saw 20 minutes of this episode was Ashley. Between her sister, between Josh, and between the fight that she had with Stacey at the end. It was just way too much Ashley. This how I be feeling on Love and Marriage Huntsville when it be so much Trisha. Like, can we not? Can we not? Let's don't say we did. Or at least spread them out on different episodes. We don't need like all of them like boom, boom, boom. It was just too much. I just, they online talking about, let's start a petition. Remember in the olden days when girls would start a petition trying to get the Housewives fired? Fire went up for Ashley. Everybody's just like, they had the little cold pictures with the people in the circle, the little, get Ashley fired. Everybody's so sick of Ashley because she don't bring nothing and she just messy. She just messy. It's like, I get it. She's y'all little pet. She's gonna stir the pot. She gonna be the one that's, what bone you need me to carry? Okay, I'll ask. If such and such doesn't ask, I'll bring it up. Okay, she's got 10 minutes before a blow. Okay, cool. Gotcha, production. I'll do whatever you say. I get that. So I don't think Ashley will ever really leave. And then she an OG. Ashley shows enough footage of drama that I don't think they would ever put her out of the show like they did Sharice. They put Sharice off the show and she the glue. She know all the girls that's on the show and trying to be on the show, and they was like, yep, don't matter, you're boring. We come to your house, all you filming is you walking around having a glass of champagne in the champagne room. Maybe you hanging out with the kids off in college, so she ain't even got the kids to be no storyline. Like, Sharice is real boring. So I get them having to kick her off. So Ashley, she's safe in that regard. So we have to suffer a little while longer, y'all. But that's it for this review. Make sure y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and comment. Let me know if y'all watching. Let me know what y'all think about this review and the episode overall. Bye.